I don't need it.
I have it on my phone.
Got it in your.
Sent it over.
Huh?
Want to take these for?
Yeah, if they're done.
Thank you.
No, that's his. You can keep that one. I just didn't bring the extra one up tonight. I was carrying enough. I was trying to keep track. Huh? It hasn't been an application yet.
George, you're set?
Yes, he said yes. You were talking.
Excuse me.
Well, you were talking to Dave, so I didn't interrupt you. Jeez.
All right, let's get started. First of all, welcome all to the January ZBA meeting. Noreen, would you like to do roll call?
John Seeley,
Present.
Chip Postiglione,
Here.
Steve
Here.
I'm drawing a blank. Zach Murphy. We haven't had a
Here.
meeting in a while. I forget who you are.
Forgot me already?
No,
Please rise for the
everybody.
pledge.
Not just you, Steve. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
And please just make note of the emergency exits, toward the doors behind you and out front here. Yeah. All righty, first up, let's, Steve. All right, let's, I'm going to make a motion to appoint Steve as the deputy chair for 2026.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
No, thank you. And let's, I'm going to make a motion to approve the meeting schedule. Noreen and I went over it today. What is it, October was moved, Noreen?
Yes, October's moved to a Thursday evening versus a Tuesday because of
Early
voting. And June is moved to the 5th Tuesday instead of the 4th because of early voting.
I'll second that then.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next up, new project. Planning Board of Appeals. On 5, Carol, Planning Board of Appeals up here. You have, why don't you step up? Just when you sit down, please turn on those mics.
Hello? Okay.
Yep. Hello? I don't know if yours is on. Yours was, Bonnie.
There you go.
Hello? Am I audible?
It's on.
Is that okay?
I think you just have to speak into
Hear
it.
me now.
Oh, okay,
Look into it, okay, you're good. How you doing, guys?
good.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Hope it's a good one. So what can we do for you?
Well, this is Adam Rod. I'm here on behalf of the Town of Monroe Planning Board, and this relates to a project located at 485 State Route 208. There were two pre-application meetings concerning the development of this property. As the planning board chairman can elaborate further, at the first meeting, the applicant represented that they plan to put in a bus terminal. And plans were submitted which were part of this package. And as you can see from the proposed site plan, the plans indicate, all of the plans indicate roughly several spaces for the parking of buses and a virtually equivalent number of spaces for the parking of vehicles, demonstrating that the purpose of the use of the property would be for the drivers to drive onto the property, pick up the buses that are parked there, drive the buses on their various routes, return to the property, park the buses, and then get back into their cars to drive home. As they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and so is the site plan. The site plan indicates that this is a bus terminal or a bus depot, as the applicant actually informed the planning board during the early part of the meetings. So as the board knows, in the GB district, there are various uses that are permitted uses and uses permitted by special permit and that require site plan approval. A bus depot or a bus terminal is not one of the uses. The applicant is apparently attempting to characterize the use here as an automotive service repair station, like an auto repair shop. And I think clearly, as indicated on the site plans, that is not the primary use. I mean, the mere fact that the applicant might say, well, with respect to the buses that we're going to park there and store there before they take their route, we will, service them or perhaps repair them. That does not make the primary use an automobile repair use. So at the request of the planning board, they are appealing the determination of the building inspector that it was an allowable use in the GB zone to this board. And as this board knows, you are perfectly empowered to make a de novo determination as to whether the proposed use is permitted in the zone.
So when I was going over this afternoon with Noreen in the office, so do I have it right, when they went to the building inspector, he made the determination that it was right for a service or a maintenance building? And do I have that right?
Yeah, I think the building inspector deemed what was proposed an automotive service station, and therefore was a use permitted subject to special permit approval and site plan approval. The planning board disagrees with that characterization of the use to be put to the property. And we therefore appeal to the zoning board.
So when this was brought to the planning board, it was brought, the application was for a bus garage.
So,
Is that right?
so to be clear, the meeting was a pre-application meeting, which does not involve the entire planning board. this was a pre-submission meeting. No application had been received at that point. It's something that's informal that we do, where a potential applicant can come in and get a sense of whether or not something would be allowed. Specifically, Ms. Ashley Torrey, who is our attorney, was on that call. Mr. Mann, Joel Mann, who was representing the potential application, was also on the call, as was myself. And I can tell you distinctly that during that Zoom call, at some point, Ashley and I both, and she did initially, the question of, well, you're saying this is a bus terminal, because that's what was represented, and our attorney's reaction was, well, that's not allowed in the GB zone. And the response from Mr. Mann, I recall, was, I saw that it was allowed as a special use. What he got confused was there is a special use called bus passenger shelter. And bus passenger shelter is one of those small, little structures where someone waits for a bus.
Wait for a bus.
Right. And so we said, no, that's not allowed. And so even though we discussed the application, some of the other issues associated with it, site features, et cetera, it didn't go very far because, our attorney said, no, this, based on what you've expressed and what you're doing here, it's not allowed.
Right.
So that was our first pre-submission meeting.
And then at that point, did they go to the building inspector? Or did they actually submit after that initial meeting? And thank you for clearing that up, or that pre-meeting.
Sure.
Did they actually give a submittal?
So they have yet to submit a formal application to the planning board. They are still at the, they just haven't submitted. What transpired is the potential applicant asked for a second pre-submission meeting. And our instant reaction was, oh, well, that's interesting because we already discussed that this isn't allowed here. And so when we got into that second pre-submission meeting, that question was raised. How have you, why are you still proposing this? Are you going to go for a use variance? Are you going to get a zone change? Still not allowed. That's when we discovered at that pre-submission meeting that, unbeknownst to us, the applicant had gone to the building inspector, submitted some information in writing, including, I believe, the site plan, and Mr. Maldonado made his determination without letting us know. So we discovered it by chance during that second pre-submission meeting. So then I would say the sequence is first pre-submission meeting where we said this isn't allowed, went to Ben Maldonado without us knowing, us meaning the people on the pre-submission call, and the planning board, and then the second pre-submission where we discovered that in fact had happened.
Thank you for taking.
Yeah, this is the first time on, right? So it's going to require a public hearing. So if there's anything further that you'd like to hear from the applicant, any further preliminary questions or data you'd like to hear or have them bring to the hearing, now would be the time to talk to them about it?
Yeah, no, I know that. It just says, as we sit here as a zoning board in this, sometimes I feel like we get stuck between two parents. They don't like the answer mom gave them, and go get an answer from dad, or vice versa. It just is. It's a tough spot, but that's what was running through my head when I said Dave. Okay. I'm surprised you didn't know that.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I'm here on behalf of the applicant. Will we have an opportunity
Yes, you will. You will. We'll get to you. Yeah, it's just, thinking and speaking outwardly with my inner thoughts is always.
Dangerous?
Yes, for me. But does anyone on the board have any questions for who's in front of us right now?
So I see your note here to about Maldonado on August 7th. Did he respond?
To,
Confirmation?
is that part of the attorney's submission?
Which document are you talking?
I'm not sure what you're looking at.
That's the attorney for the app.
So the attorney for the applicant submitted a letter to the building inspector. He responded with a land use determination. Yes.
Could be.
It should be in your packet.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Maldonado's land use determination, I believe, is Exhibit A
Yes.
on the notice of appeal.
And, right, and that's the notice that we're not aware of until our second pre-submission.
And I'm going to paraphrase and just jump in where I'm wrong. His determination basically sees fit for a maintenance building or maintenance facility in a roundabout kind of way as you read through it. Zach, you got anything down there? Okay. Steve-O, you're good?
Good.
All right, thanks, guys. And I'm going to give the other group a chance.
Yeah, and keeping in mind, this is not the
Yeah.
public hearing.
No, we're just
So you don't-
talking and gathering info.
And just so you know, everybody knows their options, the applicant certainly, I should say the applicant. The applicant is the planning board here. The
Correct.
underlying applicant, the land use applicant, doesn't have the right to speak before you tonight because it's the first time on. They absolutely have the right to be heard. They've made a submittal in opposition, and at the public hearing, they have a full right to be heard and to protect their rights.
Right.
So if you want to hear from them now, it's
No.
within your discretion
Yep.
to hear from them.
Yep.
And
And if you don't, that's also fine.
And I would only add that unless I'm not aware of a submission made, it's not even an applicant. It's a potential applicant because
Yeah,
we don't have a formal application.
right.
Thank you for correcting me. I think
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got over my own skis by calling them an
Yes,
applicant.
yes.
I understand. The
But
the land use,
right.
I don't know if it
Land use
matters, so-
determination.
yes.
Yep. No, I think in the spirit of trying to get a handle on this, because there's a lot going on timeline, I would like to hear from the other side just to get a couple of questions in my own head straight.
If the applicant is allowed the potential applicant from the
Potential.
planning board's perspective, allowed to speak, is that then that for this evening and then everything else will be taken up at the public hearing? Or can we come back up? I just want to understand
After,
the
you
rules
mean this evening?
since- Right.
Yeah, you can come back up. Yeah, this is,
Okay, in the event we want to?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. No issues. So
And
we're
keeping
just,
in mind, right now, this is a 30,000-foot view of the application.
Yeah.
Right.
So we don't have to get into the nitty-gritty. We're
Right.
not taking
Sure.
testimony, but
Right.
To allow the board to get their head around
Yep.
what the issues
Okay.
are.
And
Certainly.
we, I believe, only just received Zarin and Steinmetz.
That is correct. I forgot
Right,
to
so we
forward it
haven't
on to
even
him.
really
Yep.
had an opportunity to take a look at it,
Yep.
so,
gotcha.
all right?
Yep, cool.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chair.
When you sit down, just state your names.
Sure. Joel Mann, Braham and Associates, on behalf of the applicant.
On behalf of the applicant, also Daniel Richmond from the law firm Zarin and Steinmetz, 81 Main Street, Suite 415, White Plains, New York.
How you guys doing tonight, all right?
Good, Happy New Year.
Happy
Hope you're all
New Year.
doing well too and all shoveled out.
Yeah, yeah. Let's hope it's for a little while anyhow.
Let's hope.
It's
Yeah.
a-
So, thanks for coming in front of the board
Of course.
to help get the timeline and what's going on here. And I do appreciate how the planning board laid it out for us on their view.
So-
But go ahead with,
So first, yeah, I'd like to raise a couple of procedural issues. First of all, I think by the planning board. Sure. By the planning board, I'd just like to first start off with a couple of procedural issues that we've laid out in our letter to your board of January 20th, 2026. In the first instance, this appeal was filed 30 days after the building determination was issued by the building inspector, so we think that this pursuant to the town code only allows your board to entertain appeals that are timely filed, so we submit that this is not timely filed. We've also raised in our letter, we do not think the planning board has the authority to commence appeals. They clearly, under your town code, are limited to reviewing site plans, certain special permits, approving plats, modifying certain zoning requirements related to cluster subdivisions, but nothing allows them to file an appeal with your board. As your board is aware, the law is very clear that the planning board does not have the authority to interpret zoning code, and I think that goes hand in hand with their lack of authority to bring an appeal. To the merits, we have been clear that this is an automotive service station, service repair, that this is where buses are going to be brought at the end of the day for repair. They're going to be electric vehicles. They're going to be recharged. And, drivers are going to come there in the after they're serviced. Drivers would pick them up in the morning, so the parking is an accessory use, which, as the building inspector determined, is both those, the primary use as an automotive service station is permitted by special permit under the town code, and the accessory parking use is also permitted. At best, giving the planning board some, lenience, they're raising an ambiguity, which, again, it's up to the applicant. The applicant determines what the use is. The law is clear. For example, I'd bring to your attention Cam Hampton 1 Realty Corp. Versus Board of Zoning Appeals of East Hampton, 273 AD 2nd 385, that the zoning board does not permit speculation that a permit applicant is going to use a property for something that's not permitted or something that wasn't justified. Again, the building inspector has determined, it's indisputable, and the planning board doesn't contest it, that automotive service stations are allowable by special permit in the GB district. What we're proposing is locate on a site that's ideal for that kind of use. It's right off of, state highway, it's bounded by the lake, it's not going to have impacts. Again, these are going to be electrical buses.
It's not electrical, it's zero emission buses.
Zero emission buses. So
Yeah.
they're not going to, again, have limited, very few environmental impacts, if any. But the planning board's speculation that it would be used illegally for a bus terminal or a bus depot respectfully provides no basis for your board to overturn the building inspector. Again, what we're proposing is a service station. The building inspector is free to make site visits to determine that it's being used as a service station. Again, these are buses, used by commuters that are offloaded and loaded at a different location. And again, they do need regular maintenance.
If I may add to that, Justin, the technicals, again, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, we don't want to put you in a hard position between the planning board, like in the building inspector, but again, I was at the first TAC meeting before I got my attorney involved, and the proposal, and like Bonnie said, we proposed the first submission with the same site plan, whatever, a different configuration, but the same site plan. We have automobile service and repair station with associated offices, and she's right with that the attorney asked the question, 1 second, under which code is this allowed? And initially, when I submitted that, on my bulk table, it's on the GB, every type of business. Like, let's take an example. If you have like a air conditioning company that has like their shop, storage, and offices, it's allowed under the code. Then they have their vans. They have like 20 service vans. They're going out during the day servicing doing service calls or whatever, doing the job. They're coming back at night and parking there. Everyone understands that the parking is an accessory. The building is the main use, and then you have the parking as the accessory. The same thing was that. I got a little bit shocked by the question, and I didn't have a clear language and understanding to explain why we, at the first meeting, that's why I told them, listen, let me go back to the code and make sure that I have everything right. So I went back to the code book, the zoning book. I looked over everything. I'm falling under the GB. So I decided, you know what, let's go to the building inspector to make sure that I'm on the right path. I proposed them the plan with the land use. I had Dan, attorney, write a letter explaining the use. We have an automotive service station where we're servicing the buses with associated offices for the company. And we have cars parked for the people that work in there or taking out the buses. And then they have every night, all the buses coming down, being serviced, refreshed in the building or outside, but that's the use of the property. And and at the morning, they're going back out, pick up people. But this is not a location where people are being picked up or dropped off. This is not a bus terminal or anything like that. So we gave them the explanation, and we got back the interpretation. At the second TAC meeting, we proposed that for them, for the planning board. At that point, I felt that they were thinking, and I want to say that openly here, I didn't try to go under their back. It was like just innocently, I was trying to figure out, went to the inspector, had then write the letter, we got the interpretation. It seemed they had the feeling, and I want to say that clearly, that was not my intent, that we want to go behind their back and get some type of interpretation and be something, but there was clearly not that. The reason why we went at all to the TAC meetings, typically I will put an application to the planning board. We try to get a TAC meeting because, and I explained that at the TAC meeting, it's an uncertain type of property, the shape of the property, the location, it's on the Route 208. I'm not sure if that was submitted to you. The Route 208 has a proposal from the DOT to be rerouted in a different location. So we had a traffic consultant, Phil Grilli, from Collier's, a big expert in the area, at that meeting to make sure that we want to see in which direction we are going. A matter of, so before we're spending so much money getting into the planning board, paying all the fees, we want to know how the planning board's feeling is on that, and specifically about the location of the entrance. We had multiple options. It was more like the surroundings of the property at a different shape, rather than I was not even thinking that there's going to be a question on the use. This was something that I was very clear that this is something that falls under the use, and like the building inspector interpreted. So with that, I hope that we can get this cleared out. And
So did you go, but you could see where there's confusion, right? You could see, I can see just by listening to what you just said and listening to what they said. So in that first pre-meeting that you called for, that you asked the planning board, at that meeting, they heard bus garage, right? And you just said, maybe you misrepresented what you were saying, but hear me out here a second,
sure.
right? So you said you were a little shocked by the question from the lawyer, right? And you didn't know how to answer it. So that meeting ended, you left, and you started thinking to yourself, how did it go like this? Well, and then you started, looking back on how you might have represented it, thinking and doing your due diligence that you felt you were right. At that point, did you go to did you go to the building inspector for his determination, or realize that maybe you didn't represent the project the way you felt? Let me finish, right? And maybe give the planning board another try before going to get another determination by somebody else?
No, Mr. Chair, if I could answer the question?
It's not really a question.
Yeah.
You can answer it, sure, but I'm just saying, listening to what Mr. Mann just had to say about it in his own words, right? And I'm just trying to get a timeline of
Yep.
why this is in front of us right now.
Well, but, I mean, to me, when I hear the talk about.
Talking to the mic, please.
Sure, when I hear about the first meeting, it seems like a bit of a red herring. Regardless of what happened at that meeting, we clearly then advanced a plan for an automotive service station. That's what was before the building inspector. That's a use that because we, as Joel said, we didn't want to waste any more of the client's money pursuing a use, so we proceeded before the.
I can answer
Okay.
directly, actually, his question. So I was trying to understand exactly again, I was the same use that I was proposing by the second tech meeting and for the planning board, I proposed at the first. I was in the middle of the meeting, why I'm saying I was shocked, it was like phrased in. I explained to have an automotive repair station. I think that, I'm not sure if I have here in front of me the first submission, but it was at that point, I was like phrased in. They asked me this, so this is a bus terminal? A bus terminal is not allowed. I was trying to think, no, this is not a bus terminal, because a bus terminal is basically where you're picking up or you're exchanging things. No, I have a repair shop. I just didn't have the words to explain it and get it better. And I was thinking, okay, before I say anything, let me go back, make sure that I have the right backup for everything and we are allowed. I was thinking maybe an AC company can be there, and maybe a bus company cannot have an office in there. So that was my whole clarification. So when I went back and looked at the zoning, a repair station doesn't say any automotive repair station is allowed. So that's what it is. Accessory to it, parking, there's not limiting anything. You can have all type of accessory parking for any of your equipment, just like if you have like excavation companies or something like that. They're also parking their machinery there. So I just want to have the right words and make sure that I explained myself clearly, and that's what I did. I did the narrative, went to the inspector, got the clarification, went back to the second tech meeting so I can clear this off. Okay, we're good on deck. Check on the zoning so I can move forward with all other items that came up at the tech meeting. And then I got shocked with the appeal.
So is this site plan that I'm looking at, I don't see a date, or is this the only submission? This site plan? Is there a, right, this is something that I'm using.
Everything was a one-page submission.
Is there another version of this that might have been represented at the first pre-meeting?
I will check on that. I didn't look in.
I think the only change may have been just clarifying that the building is for repair.
Because that's the truth. That's how it is. So
Yeah,
it's
So there was a change, there was a revision.
I will check.
If there was these are just questions, right? This is just gathering information, right? There's not going to be a determination made this evening.
I understand.
It's just gathering information, because if I can't get it the easy way, then we got to get it the hard way, and we're just looking for info. So if this is revised, then I think the board here would like to see the first submission or the original during the pre-meeting, I'm going to call it. And I could characterize that the wrong way, but for lack of better terms, the pre-meeting with the planning board.
Just to clarify, How is that relevant? I mean,
It's relevant for me. Just to clarify, just to give you an answer, it's relevant to me because I would like to see, because we're going to sit here and discuss why this is here and how I can move forward. It's every little information, so I'm asking
I'm
for
just
it.
suggesting that the relevant inquiry here is whether the building inspector was correct in determining that an auto service station is a permitted use by special permit at this site.
I think the first submission, the words on the building was proposed office and maintenance building. So I didn't use the word repair shop, but I fixed it to use the repair shop because but it's the same concept.
If you got it, I'd like to see it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay?
And I think at the first submission, we had 40 buses. I reduced it.
Not first submit, the first in the pre-meeting with
In the pre-meeting
right.
with the tag, I had like 40 bus spaces, and
Yeah.
then on behalf of the applicant told me I don't need 40, we can do 30, so it's like,
If you have it,
cosmetic things.
the board would like to see it.
sure.
And
And I had like 4 options for the entrance, because that was my main focus at that time.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anyone else up here have any questions for these guys? All right, hearing
just fine.
nothing, thank you for your time, I appreciate it, and thank you for helping enlighten us in this
Thank you.
endeavor.
Thank you.
You guys have anything else you'd like to say tonight?
Good evening again.
Hey.
So I'd just like to bring to your attention that our submission that was made by our attorney does have the map that shows office and maintenance. The reference to repairs, I believe, was added after the fact, but we would need to get dates on that to be certain. I would just add, Mr. Richmond nor any attorney was present at the first meeting. So the reality is our attorney was present. She is on maternity leave at this point. I think it would be beneficial, if possible, to get her notes. We haven't wanted to, trouble her if we can avoid it. So hopefully we'll get something from her as well. We may use the word terminal, station. Those are not defined in our code, but what was clear after the first meeting was the primary purpose was to store buses there. That essentially drivers would come, they would get on the bus, they would drive wherever they're going to drive, and then they would return. In fact, from my perspective, that is further, defined by the second plan, where there's exactly 29 buses and exactly 29 vehicle parking spaces, one for each bus driver. So that doesn't leave a lot of spaces for repairs. But that's my opinion looking at the map. And again, through the lens that the very first meeting, this was described as a place that they were going to, the primary purpose was to store the buses where people would get on, they would go wherever, and then they're stored there. At the second meeting, I asked, okay, if you're now saying this is a repair garage, then it would seem to me you don't need, once they're repaired, if that's the primary purpose, they will leave. Just like at a vehicle service station, if I bring my car to an automotive place, I don't leave it there. I take it back home. But these buses stay there 24/7, except for when they're on the roads. So all of these, from my perspective, are pointing to the fact that the primary purpose is not to repair them. It's a bus depot, station, etc., where they're going to use it primarily for placing their buses there. And that's it. And, there were also other pieces of information that were submitted in the letter to the building inspector. about wetlands, other stuff. From our perspective, any of that will be addressed if the applicant, if it's determined that this use is allowed, they come back for site plan approval, they would have to meet special use permit standards, site plan standards. From our perspective, that will be done later. We're really trying to focus just simply on, is this really a use that was allowed? And I think that's why that is why we're in front of you.
Got it. That's pretty clear.
Am I to assume also that the bus drivers, when they pick up their bus in the morning, they're bringing their personal vehicle, parking it on site, and then leaving with the bus for the day? Has that been discussed?
That would appear to be what the intent is, with the 29 vehicle parking spaces, the 29 buses.
If you have 29 vehicle bus operators, then you have 29 people showing up for work, give or take.
And taking the bus and driving wherever.
And leaving their car
Yes.
at the location.
Yeah. That's my perspective. Again, this was all during a pre-submission, so this hasn't been in front of the planning board. There were only so many questions we asked because the reality that this had already received a land use determination was a surprise to us.
At the second.
At the second.
Right.
Correct.
Yep.
Which was after August. I forget what month it was.
Tori and get those documents, that'd be great for us, and her notes as well.
Sure. And, I want to emphasize, we're not here to say we don't like at all. It's not about any kind of predetermination or this is or isn't appropriate. It's simply, is this in fact allowed in the zone? Because after our first pre-submission meeting and discussion with our attorney and what was represented, not just the word that was used, but the way it was in its totality represented, it was not a repair station. It was a place to store buses, essentially. And if, again, if it's allowed, it's allowed. If it's not, it's not. But we're coming to you to make that.
Determination.
Yeah.
Roger that.
Thank you.
Honey, I'm sorry, I have just one more quick
Sure.
question. Under column 3 on Exhibit C, number 3 indicates parking pursuant to Article 12. Do you know what the Article 12 is and states?
It's Exhibit C.
Exhibit C on your,
You're looking at the
Yes,
use, you're looking at the use
the
table?
bulk table.
That parking is probably I'm going to guess the parking section of the zoning, but I would have to look at that. I would have to look that up. So it's what section?
So it's column 3,
Mm-hmm.
item 3, parking pursuant to Article 12, and this is under Chapter 57, the bulk table, Monroe Code.
So Article 12 would be, I happen to have it open here, parking and loading space requirements, garages, and service stations.
Thank you.
One other that was mentioned by the applicant, the issue of timeliness. And I just want to emphasize that, a couple of points. The planning board, as I understand it, first was provided with the determination from the building inspector on October 25, and the appeal was filed on November 7. Their argument, as I understand it, is, well, the determination was actually rendered on September 10, I believe, which is true, but that was never provided to the planning board. I'm not throwing stones at anyone, but I'm just, as a factual matter, that determination was not provided to the planning board by anyone, not the applicant or Mr. Maldonado. Again, not throwing stones, because under the code, apparently, there is no requirement for like a determination to be forwarded to, every single board and agency.
Closer to the mic.
Yeah. So, Yeah, I just wanted to address that point. And again, you know, we're not quibbling, of course, with the fact that an automotive service station is allowed in the GB district. I mean, that's a given, and we agree with that. The definition of an automotive service station uses the word primarily to perform those tasks. That's the primary use, and the basis, the gist of the appeal is the primary use here is clearly the storage and parking of buses, so that the drivers go there, park their vehicles, go to the bus, drive away to do their pickups, drive the buses back onto the property, and then store the buses until the next day of use. And that's why there's, on their own plans, there's an exact correlation, or virtually exact correlation in all the plans, between automotive parking spaces and bus storage spaces. And, you know, I would submit, and just, you're the final arbiters of that as the zoning board, that does not sound like any auto repair shop that I think most of us understand in terms of the use and purpose.
Got it. Thanks. No, well, this is, I'm not going to go back and forth this evening. There's going to be a public hearing where we'll all get this information out, but I just told them that I would let them speak because they're the ones bringing it in front of us. Right, so with that case,
That's it.
I am going to make a motion to set this up for a public hearing for the meeting of, is it February 24th?
Yes.
So for February 24th? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And, yeah, that's what,
Noreen's at 6:30?
yeah, 6:30. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Thanks, guys. And if you can get us that information that we requested, even with the lawyer's notes and maybe the first submission or the first site plan, whatever, that would be
Will
helpful.
do. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next up, 5 Carroll Drive. You're damn right I'm not going to attempt that name. Yeah. Hi, how you doing? Good evening. How you doing? Just state your names, try to get as close to the mics as you can, and how you guys doing tonight, all right?
Good. My name is Sebastian Belasiewicz, and I'm the applicant for the...
Can you tilt that mic up a little bit?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Chris Kozlowski, architect. Yeah, I'm architect of record for this project.
Sorry, I didn't catch your last name.
Kozlowski, Kozlowski.
Thank you.
Sure.
So what can we do for you guys tonight?
Okay.
We're here to get, we're trying to get the addition to our house, and when we submitted for the permit, right, it was rejected, and they gave us the reasoning why it was rejected. The reasoning was that, well, you know, the zoning that where we have a property is, the minimum is 20,000 square feet, a lot. Our lot unfortunately is smaller than that. So that's one reason why it was rejected. The other reason why it was rejected, it was based on the survey, the existing dwelling is approximately 26 feet from the property line. But however, this dwelling is existing, and the proposed addition is, it would meet the zoning requirements.
So as I went over it, you have your lot area calls for just what you said, 20,000 square feet. Existing is 16,992 square feet,
That is correct.
right? But that is because of a existing non-conforming condition, right?
That is correct,
Your
yes.
front yard is 25.6, where they're calling for 40,
That is correct,
right?
yes.
And that is a 14.4 difference, and that is also non-conforming condition. But these are non-conforming, but these are not pre-existing conditions?
These are pre-existing conditions.
Yeah? Guess it doesn't say that.
Where's the work that you're proposing?
We proposing to build on the right side of the property.
Where the driveway is?
Yes,
Survey or anything? I have an old survey from October of 2022.
So we don't have something showing what's proposed.
okay, we have plans.
Okay? I never looked at the date. Excuse me. Can I get a set for the file, please?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
How long have you had this property?
Since 1999.
1999? And so when you've had it since 1999 until now?
I mean, no, sorry, 2019, I'm sorry.
2019. Missed it by that much.
No. I just got confused. I just got confused because 1999 is the year that I came to US.
Oh, okay.
So just 2 important years. Yes, 2019.
So 2019 until now, have you done any work to the property or to the house up until this point?
No,
No, nothing. So the house is pretty much the state that
is
you
correct,
purchased?
yes.
Okay.
When we were buying this house, we didn't know about the requirement 20,000 square feet because we would ask the owner, what is the missing square footage?
Sorry.
Well done, well done.
I didn't know at this moment. And when we did the survey, right, as you can see on plans and the survey plans, the property line is basically going through through the middle of the space between our dwelling and the street. So it's like the utility space, it's unnatural wide. So so in reality, it's the house, it doesn't look that close to to the street because of the, and also we don't touch the existing dwelling. And the new proposed one is according to the current requirements. And as we know from the history, this building originally was built as an office, and it was converted into into the living building. So maybe that's the reason why it's so close to the.
All right, so I'm looking at the page 2 of the packet you just gave us.
Okay.
Right? Because what I was looking for is the survey here is a survey, but I was looking for the survey with the proposed building that you wanted to put on it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, and that's what I'm looking at on page 2, correct? On this.
That is correct, yes.
That is correct, right? So what I'm looking at here, Carroll Drive, it looks like you got the 2 cars parked in a driveway. So the hatched, because it's so small, the hatched area is the proposed additions that you're going to be putting on? Is that
Yes, that's.
right? Yep, and then, what's not making sense to me here?
No, the hatched area, there are 2 parts. The part on the right-hand side is just the pavement.
It's just a what?
Paved area.
Was paved.
A paving,
area.
okay.
So this is not,
Yeah, I could barely see
no,
that.
it's not a building. This
Yeah.
was calculation of the lot coverage, basically.
So this here,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
because we will be eliminating some blacktop that is currently there behind just. That is correct, yes.
180, yeah.
Just to meet
This is
the
being eliminated.
requirement, 20% of,
This is being eliminated. That's okay, that makes sense.
There's nothing new about that, Nori. That's no-
so the addition on the home extends out to the blacktop, the existing blacktop
That
area
is-
that you'll be eliminating,
that is correct, yes.
right?
We will not be taking any on
Yep.
pavement
Right?
area.
And then you have, so what I'm trying to wrap my head around is that that's crystal clear. The parking area, the 8x20 parking area on the right, that's crystal clear. So when I look at your survey and the existing dwelling that's there, the addition, so how much of the existing dwelling will remain?
We're not touching the existing dwelling.
Right, so it's cutting from the back out, okay.
Yes, we
Just
just,
attached.
we
Yep.
just attach.
Just attached, right, okay.
Just removing the stairs and the stoop.
That is correct,
Yep.
just to make it on the one level.
Yeah.
The existing house is very small, as
Yep.
you can see, it's 700 square feet, and it doesn't even fit into neighborhood, so we want to have something that would present nice.
When you come back, this plan here on page 2, can you give us a bigger version of that?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
okay.
Sure, yeah.
That's good,
Yeah.
but we'll take it for the next one, I can see.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. Thank you.
All right, I'm pretty clear with what's going on here. Anyone else?
Good.
Good, John? Yep, all right, so let's go ahead. I'd like to make a motion for a public hearing for February 24th meeting.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Aye.
That was you, Steve?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, exactly.
I know where it is.
No, we have,
I'll stop by.
Have a good night.
Snow.
That's just what I was like, what? Find to find, yeah. All right, next up, 190 Cromwell Hill Road.
Good evening.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Happy New Year to everybody.
Yeah,
New Year, good to see you.
I'm here on behalf of Mr. Joel Brock, 190 Cromwell Hill Road.
So this is I think this came before the board, why I might have been out.
Yeah, you missed that one when he brought this to us originally.
Correct.
So they purchased the property, from what I could see, exactly like this. But now going back, it doesn't pass because of total lot coverage and of the shed in the backyard. It didn't look like, they were nice enough to let me walk the property for quite some time. It didn't look like anything was freshly built or new. This looked like these things had been here for quite some time. So they kind of inherited this total lot coverage issue. But they were nice enough to give us a new updated survey showing us exactly the square footage of each area, you know, if we could get a better view.
That's above and beyond, huh?
Yeah.
The way they
And we really do appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it makes it easier.
They were very nice about the whole process too, so that's always good.
So what all happened there? So he supplied this, you were able to see it, it's pretty much, so the only thing I have on this was the map that I've gotten. So what is he in front of us for?
So he's got an issue with the shed in the backyard. It's currently like 2.5 feet away from the fence, but it needed to be 5 feet.
Yeah, I see that.
That shed is pretty well built into the ground. You know, I took a look to see if it was movable. It's been there for a while.
Been there, right?
If any of the neighbors had any issues, I didn't know about them. They seemed to be okay from what I saw. Obviously, that's something that can come up in public hearing, but.
Yep.
And then the lot coverage. The lot coverage is a lot of concrete patios. There's a lot, it's very nice in the backyard. It's a lot of ponds, a lot of fountains, but that's kind of probably where we got some of this lot coverage issue from. It also has a massive driveway in the front, so those things kind of start adding up on them.
How long have you owned this property?
I'm not the owner.
He's not the owner.
I'm representing the owner.
Oh, you're right.
I would say 2-3 years.
Yeah,
probably?
I think he said 2 years. And
2 years?
nothing on the property looked like it was like fresh from the past 2 years. Like the
So
shed was nice.
it's
but
not
it was-
coming in as pre-existing condition?
No, I believe these are pre-existing
Yeah,
conditions.
okay.
He just purchased the property 2 years ago, you know, go through the process and then don't recognize, you know, you have all this lot coverage.
Yep.
I went for a permit as we spoke. I don't know if I sent it to you. I probably
Yeah.
did.
That's
And I
how
got a
about it.
permit based on conditions out of the results of the ZBA. I'm going to send you the permit and the email. You'll be able to see from Ben. Actually, I'll forward it to you now.
Thank you.
But I did get a building permit based on conditions of the outcome.
Thank you, good to know.
So within the application, is he just trying to clear it up, or are they trying to do something else?
From my understanding, were you guys trying to do anything else?
No,
No,
I
that's-
want to leave that there.
Just
Yeah.
trying to get it clear and all on?
Yeah, it just kind of popped for whatever reason and Ben noticed
Yep.
that they have all this
Okay.
extra.
And again, they purchased this, so I don't know if their plan was to keep all of this, what their plans were, but it definitely wasn't new.
Yeah, it looks like, on a flat piece of paper, it looks like a very nice property.
Yeah, and I don't know if perhaps maybe it wasn't always a house, because the driveway in the front almost feels like it was like from an older business, but I can't speak to that.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? All right, if not, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to set up a public hearing for February 24th meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Have a good night. Yeah, they gave me updated one.
Yeah, there was an original one that you probably have, Dave. It was like a smaller copy.
No, there was an original plot plan. Oh, this is what we got. One was a plot plan.
Oh, yeah, you had the vote table.
This is what I had. This is a plot plan, and then we got a survey tonight.
Does the plot plan have all the area?
Right.
Cal?
These are up. Very good.
Yes. Right, you got this initially, which is the plot plan.
Yeah, and then I went back and told them that, if we could get
Have a good night.
bulk table,
Right.
so they got a different bulk table and everything. They were very nice.
All right, next up, minutes. We have the September minutes. Has everyone had a chance to go ahead and review the September minutes? I have. They looked, on par as usual. Didn't expect anything less. So if no one has any comments, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to accept the September minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the next one up is October minutes, which I was not at that meeting.
October minutes look good.
Those look
Yeah.
good?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Choose.
All right. So I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to accept the October minute meetings.
Second that?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to adjourn this ZBA meeting.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, George.